Hi friends, Harry Lennix here. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the Sunday message. It's Sunday again. It's not as bright and shiny as it was last week, but I haven't moved. I've just actually stayed here. I changed my jacket. This is for Buckethead. This is a lacrosse apparel company. They're great. But other than that, I've been waiting here to address you again and to say, God bless you. You know, it's raining out, as you can see today. But when I was a little boy, we had a saying that we said in school, which is April showers bring May flowers. It's almost April, but the flowers are going to come soon enough. And this rain, we know that the sun is still up there, fighting to be shining through. And it's a perfect metaphor for where we are in this world today. We haven't been out a whole lot. We're still hunkered down, following the guidelines. But we know that there's a bright lining in those clouds someplace. You know, it's a very interesting thing. Aquinas tells us that God expresses himself through the natural world. And, you know, a lot of the people are wondering about science versus their faith in these trying times. But God gave us the scientists. In fact, a lot of the great scientists were people of the cloth. George Lemaitre was a Catholic priest, a monk actually, who came up with the whole idea of the Big Bang Theory. Gregor Mendel, priest. You know, so we know that these two things have to work in common together. These two things come together for good. If I can, I'm going to share with you something that my dear friend Bishop Brian Keith Williams down in Orlando, Florida, shared with me yesterday, which is that in the book of Daniel, I think in the 3rd chapter, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are thrown into this fiery furnace because they won't bow down and worship this golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar had made. And the king knows that they should be burned up. In fact, the guys in his army who threw them into the fire were burned up just by being close to it. And it was 7 times hotter than it normally was. But the king says, aren't they dead yet? He goes in and looks and he sees not 3 people in there, but 4. He says, didn't we just throw 3 people in? He said, no, yeah, we did throw 3 people. He says, I see 4. And one of them looks like a son of the gods. And when they came out of the fire, not one hair was singed. And the interesting thing that Bishop Williams was telling me is that God didn't try them outside of the fire. He tested them in the fire. And that's where we are now, I think, as a country. We're in this trial, in this test. But we have to go through it to be made stronger. And I believe fully that that is what's going to happen. I want to say hello to my friends all over the world. A lot of you tuned in from Poland last week when I mentioned Lech Walesa. Chicago, where I grew up, is actually the 2nd biggest Polish population of a city outside of Warsaw. So a special thank you and hello to you for tuning in. Just talked to my friend Sarah Elliott in London. I want to say hello to my peeps in Chicago who are going through it. My cousins down in Louisiana, which is a new hotspot. But again, it is a test, and it is a test that we can come through. So listen, keep watching the Blacklist. We're back on. We came back. Keep checking in with each other, reaching out to those people you haven't talked to in a little while. And when the sun comes shining through these clouds, this mist, it's up there. And one of these days, it's going to evaporate, and we'll be back where we were. I'm going to thank my wife for taping this, and I'm going to thank you all for watching it. See you next week.